Hello, Aries. Welcome to your November 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Aries. And before we get started, take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Take a moment to check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing for more content from me. If you'd like to know how to work with me, go to onyxhealing.com and check out all of the stuff that I have to offer on there. And sign up for my newsletter if you would like to get a reading in your inbox every single Sunday. And stay up to date with everything. The link is in the description for that. And without further ado, I'm going to lay this spread out, then we will get started. Okay. Let's start with your oracle cards. First thing we have is the prayer. I'm sure many of you know how big of a deal prayer is to me. I actually offer prayers on my podcast. So I'm a big believer in prayer and definitely the collective power of prayer. So this don't think about this so much as a formal prayer, but more about the ritual of it, right? So getting into the zone, making the ask, or, wishing good things. Like that's essentially what a prayer is wishing good things and being in agreement for those good things to occur and for them to happen. So it's kind of like you're not throwing a Hail Mary. That's not what a prayer is. It's inviting support. It's inviting healing into the situation or the circumstances, and it's inviting the highest good. So a prayer is an ask for the highest good, essentially, if you really get down to the core. Not everyone treats it that way. Turn things over that are not in your control to get them off of your mind. So what I'm getting is that you are shifting into being and holding energy for the highest possible outcome and turning things that are out of your control over to God. And then we have Lion. So this is confidence, personal power. This is you feeling like you're in your zone. And I'm just getting that there's a lot of confidence just keeps coming up. Like I'm confident in executing this or this new project that's going, or I'm really clear on being good at this. Like there's something that you've been working on that maybe you were feeling like you had a lot of instability around that now is getting solidified in November. And then we have focus, make a choice and take the appropriate next action. What you desire is worth your attention. Remove distraction. Put your intention into motion with thought and aligned effort. Yes on all fronts. So those are some strategic ways to kind of implement whatever you have going on right now. So the central energy for you is judgment. So this is looking like a big reset or a new chapter. I wouldn't call it a reset so much as like new doors opening. It's a new portal that you're entering. Let's see what the crossing energy is first before I speak more to that. Ace of Pentacles. So is it a work project? Is it something you've just been working on or that you set in motion somewhat recently? There's a new endeavor of some sort or something that you're really in the flow around, and so you're really emerging from that place. But the ace is what tells me it looks pretty fresh. I'm not going to give you a hardcore timeline on when it started or when it was initiated, but just know it looks very fresh. So something you either recently initiated or are initiating in November. It's inviting those new opportunities. It's kind of you walking into the next chapter, and you seem very ready. The prayer card here is just coming up as all of the details that you can't take care of is what you're turning over. What you have shifting out is the Ace of Swords. This is all concept, mental, body. And so this is like the thought, the light bulb, the aha. The Ace of Pentacles is the initiation. And then let's see, we have the Eight of Cups. I'm going to clarify this because this is a change in perspective. So I want to get a little bit more context on what is the shift? What is the change? King of Wands, this is your king, by the way, very similar to the lion energy that we have here, lots and lots of fire. But what I'm getting is that whatever changes you make, I think that because this is so fresh, whatever is going on, work, love, home, whatever, you need to make some refining choices, like you are making some adjustments or some tweaks as you gather new information. So you might come into a lot of discovery as you're evolving into this next stage, the next chapter, the beginning that is sitting out in front of you. The King of Wands is helping you master all of the new stuff that you've initiated. And so the Eight of Cups is kind of a necessary part of the process, because it may be that you need to just subtly adjust the wheel, right? Not doing a 180, not flipping all the way around into something different or changing course. This is about adjustment. So I'm getting, don't think about this as flipping around completely, just subtle adjustment. And that's what's helping you master it, is knowing how to come into deeper and deeper alignment with yourself, not getting super fixated on being one way. Now, this is what's happening outside of you in your environment. You have the Father of Swords. We have the Devil. And then we have Four of Coins. So let me speak to these a little bit more. The Father of Swords, this could easily be a person. I'm getting, this looks like a collaborator to me. This looks like someone who's kind of in the mix or wants to support, help, be of service in some way, or contribute. Because there's a lot of intellectual energy that's coming off of this card. And so this looks like a helper, or someone who can offer wisdom, insight, clarity. You have one of these guides, we could say, that's hanging out with you. So definitely I wouldn't recommend like tossing out wisdom that other people are offering you, or if you do receive any invitations for support, help of any kind, consider it, like sit with it. It's not that you have to take it necessarily. Of course, if it's not right for you, pass on it, but really, really pay attention to that in November, because I'm getting that there's a lot of good things that can come from that collaboration or connective tissue that you have in your environment. The Devil is the temptation of falling into old habits, old forms of self-sabotage. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. That this is not an indication that those things will manifest. It might just be that you get some reflections of, oh, in the past, historically, I would have fallen for that, or I would have taken that bait or gotten distracted by that thing. And so this is about you mastering, removing distractions. I think that even said that here. Remove distraction. Yeah, it even says it in the focus card about removing that. And one of the big things that comes up as we're expanding into a new chapter or a new anything really, is sometimes we'll have temptation that gets presented to us so that we can solidify how serious we are about our evolution. And so it's an opportunity. It's not a punishment. It's an opportunity for you to claim what is yours and what you desire and what you are doing. That's what the lion archetypal energy is supporting you with. Is I am claiming what is rightfully mine. I'm the king or the queen of my domain, right? And so you have to claim it through and through and allow the devil, the temptation, the noise to exist, but not having to fall into it, right? That's the practice that we want to get into. I'm going to clarify the Four of Pentacles just to get a little bit more context. Ten of Knives, this actually looks like you putting limits and constriction on yourself that need to go. So perhaps you have been telling yourself a story or something that hasn't necessarily been helpful, that has kind of manifested as, I like to call them, just having bugs in the system. And this happens all the time. As you're manifesting and creating new things, you might bump up against a few things where you're like, ooh, I want to make a tweak on that. I'm not interested in continuing that pattern. And it's nice to have that come up to show you where you might be limiting yourself. This is a reflection of what else needs to go. Where else do you need to trim the fat, or trim and eliminate the things that are constricting you, right? Because this is also a creation. All of these things here are your creation, your reflection. So any pain point or distraction or temptation or limitation that you're having reflected in your environment, you want to do some work on getting back to how you actually want it to be and holding that energy in the body. So the Four of Pentacles could be like a very minor hiccup, or it could be a very minor tweak that you need to make. And I'm getting that this is really setting you up for compounding and expanding exponentially. Okay, because if you address like the little saboteurs that get in your way or that still live in the mind, the cleaner you make that, the faster things will happen and that they will grow, because you're not putting caps on yourself anymore. So this is a really exciting time where you're doing a lot of cleaning around the mind, the storytelling, and just using your environment and the things happening outside of you as metrics. It's not anything more than a reflection, so don't make it mean anything about the world being against you. It's just, interesting, I'm still running that. Let me eliminate that. Let me cut it out of the system and start running something different. And then these two cards down here, this is advice and what's happening internally. So we have the Four of Swords. This is coming up as advice to rest when needed. Pay attention to that. And the Nine of Wands. Yeah, keep going. This is a big fat confirmation of like doing the refinement work, executing on the things that you've been working on, tweaking as you go. Like this is a beautiful like portal that you're in, like I mentioned before, where you're emerging into this new confident, convicted self. And so keep going with that, because you're right. Any distractions or temptations or anything, it's like, no. Just keep going. Don't allow these things to get into your head or make you think that you're doing something wrong. That's not the case. It's just that you're refining as you go. So lower the stakes on anything that's happening here, because this is just here to show you what you're still holding internally. The Nine of Wands is saying keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. It's like you're right there. Don't get bogged down or in a funky mood just because little things might be tempting you or might look like exciting distractions. It's like, no, you're right there. You're right at the gold. So don't stop. And also honor your body. With Aries energy, it can be really intense and wanting to go and go and go. So make sure you're listening to if your body is saying, no, you need to stop, you need to rest, you need to take a break. You need to honor both of these things. It's like keep going and honor when you need rest. And there's a fine line, it takes practice really getting into the flow of what that really looks like day to day. But we always learn. So Let's go into the 3-card pick. So you're welcome to ask a question, ask for guidance, clarity, support, whatever it is that you're needing. And if you need more time on this, you're welcome to pause the video and just tune in to whichever card is calling you for as long as you need. Otherwise, card number 1 is the 10 of Swords. So the decluttering and the cleaning up the mental body and the looking at the limitations or the temptations, the constraints, whatever is being reflected as an opportunity for you to clear that program out. Like any experience of resistance or contraction, it's like just loosen that up internally, free that from your body. Do plenty of releasing, decluttering, whether that be in the material realm, right? Literally getting rid of things, or the emotional realm, thought forms. Don't think about removing something. I think everyone immediately goes to relationships with 10 of Swords, and I don't know why. I think that's like a big fear thing. But this has more to do with cleaning it up, right? You wouldn't want to hold on to shoes that don't fit, or that really don't bring you joy. So allow your environment and your internal world to tell you what needs to be released and what needs to be processed and worked through. Card number 2, we have the Hierophant. And this is asking you, do you need more boundaries or do you need more permeable boundaries? Just that is the main thing that's coming up with this. I'm getting for many of you, you're going to need to set more boundaries with yourself. This is looking like the majority of you are going to need to put boundaries around like working hours or how many phone calls you take or the topics that are discussed. There might just be a lot of boundaries that need to be implemented. Card number 3, we have the 2 of Cups, connection, collaboration, co-creation. Good for those of you who are interested in manifesting and cultivating partnership, right? This is that divine, connective, romantic energy that we desire and that we crave. And so you can look at relationships are where the answers live, the clarity, the answers, the solutions, or the wisdom. They're living in relationships. And also it's safe for you to invest in relationships. That's the other message that's coming through here. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of the month ahead. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for my newsletter. I have more good things coming, so stay up to date with me. Check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. I am sending you so much love and support. If you would like to work with me or learn more, go to onyxhealing.com, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.